Absolutely confirmed. Xavi says yes to Spurs project. Thomas Frank, one bad result away from being sacked after Liverpool. Welcome back to Tottenham News Today channel. Tottenham are edging closer to a seismic decision in the dugout, with Xavi Hernández now firmly positioned as a live and realistic option to replace Thomas Frank. And crucially, the Spaniard is open to taking the job immediately. Behind the scenes, the mood in North London is far more volatile than the calm message being projected publicly. According to Spanish outlet Sport, Xavi views a move to Tottenham right now as an attractive challenge. He believes the squad profile, the Premier League stage, and the opportunity to take over mid-season all align with his ambitions. While Spurs hierarchy continue to insist they are backing Thomas Frank, the reality inside Hotspur Way tells a very different story. Pressure on the Danish coach has reached boiling point. Results have flatlined, performances have deteriorated, and perhaps most damningly, Tottenham look like a side without a clear identity. The humiliating 3-0 defeat to Nottingham Forest is widely seen internally as a line being crossed a night where the lack of structure, intensity, and belief became impossible to ignore. This is no longer just about points on the table. Tottenham's board are demanding immediate signs of progress on the pitch. Control, aggression, cohesion, and a recognisable attacking plan are now non-negotiable. Wins alone will not be enough. Performances must improve instantly. If that does not happen against Liverpool on Saturday and Crystal Palace shortly after, Frank's position will become untenable. Sources suggest Fabio Paratici is already primed to move. The Spurs director has long admired Xavi's footballing philosophy and his ability to impose a dominant style built on possession, tempo, and positional intelligence. Talks are not official yet, but Paratici is ready to accelerate negotiations the moment he receives the green light from the board. Xavi, for his part, is not waiting around. Since leaving Barcelona, where he delivered domestic silverware and managed elite personalities under intense pressure, the former midfield maestro has been selective. Tottenham's interest has changed that. He is prepared to step in mid-season, steady a fractured environment, and immediately re-establish authority in the dressing room. Saturday's clash with Liverpool could prove decisive. There is a growing belief that a heavy defeat or another lifeless display could trigger an immediate dismissal, with Spurs moving swiftly to avoid further damage to the campaign. Should that scenario unfold, Xavi could be on a flight to London before the weekend is out. Despite the public backing, the internal message is stark. Thomas Frank is running out of time. Tottenham are no longer asking whether change is needed, they are preparing for it. And with Xavi Hernández ready, willing, and watching closely, the next few days could redefine Spurs' season entirely. Spurs are preparing to reignite their pursuit of Manchester City winger Savinho when the January transfer window opens, with David Ornstein confirming that the Brazilian is firmly back on Spurs' radar as the club searches for attacking reinforcements. After a deeply underwhelming first half of the season, Tottenham's hierarchy accept that changes are required if the campaign is to be salvaged. Sitting uncomfortably in the bottom half of the Premier League and lacking spark in wide areas, January now represents a critical crossroads. The board are once again willing to release funds, but only for players who fit a very specific profile and can deliver immediate impact. Savinho ticks every box. Tottenham explored a deal for the Manchester City winger during the summer window, holding internal discussions and sounding out the player's camp. At the time, the move was blocked by City, who were adamant the Brazilian was not for sale. That stance forced Spurs to move on, but the situation has shifted dramatically in recent months. Despite signing a new contract at the Etihad that runs until 2031, Savinho has struggled to establish himself under Pep Guardiola. Limited starts, inconsistent minutes, and fierce competition in City's attack have stalled his momentum. From Tottenham's perspective, that opens a door that was firmly shut just months ago. Ornstein has now made it clear that Spurs are seriously considering returning for the winger in January. With Antoine Semenyo admired but potentially difficult to secure, Savinho is viewed as a high-upside alternative, a player who can stretch defences, beat his man and inject unpredictability into a Tottenham side that has often looked blunt and predictable in the final third. Sources close to the situation indicate that money will be available if the right opportunity arises. Spurs believe Savinho represents exactly that: elite technical quality, Premier League experience, and a point to prove. Unlike the summer, there is also a belief that competition for his signature could be far less intense, giving Tottenham a clearer run at striking a deal. For Thomas Frank, this is a pivotal moment. January signings could define his future in North London, and the club are fully aware that backing him now is not optional, it is essential. A winger capable of changing games from wide positions is a priority, and Savinho's name is once again being discussed with real intent behind the scenes. Tottenham failed to land him once. This time, the feeling inside the club is very different. If City soften their stance and the conditions align, Savinho could become one of the most eye-catching moves of the winter window, and a statement that Spurs are ready to roll the dice to turn their season around. Tottenham are emerging as a serious and increasingly compelling destination for Manchester City goalkeeper James Trafford, with momentum building around a potential January move that could shake up the Premier League market. Whispers coming out of North London suggest Spurs are already preparing for major decisions between the posts. While Guglielmo Vicario remains the established number one, concerns over depth, long-term planning and competition have prompted Tottenham to scan the market, and their attention has firmly landed on the Etihad. Trafford is no stranger to transfer speculation, but this time the noise feels louder and far more concrete. The 23-year-old England international has been on Spurs' radar before, and now respected journalist Pete O'Rourke has confirmed that a move to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium is very much a live option. With January fast approaching, the goalkeeper market is heating up, and Trafford is right at the centre of it. O'Rourke has named Tottenham alongside Aston Villa and Newcastle as clubs monitoring the situation closely, stressing that there will be strong demand for Trafford if City are prepared to sanction a move. Villa's interest hinges on Emiliano Martinez's future, while Newcastle continue to assess their own goalkeeping plans, but Spurs are increasingly viewed as the most natural fit. According to further information relayed by Team Talk, Tottenham have already taken concrete steps behind the scenes, holding exploratory talks with Trafford's camp over a potential switch to N17. Crucially, an industry source has gone even further, describing Spurs as the ideal club for the City stopper at this stage of his career. James is a top-level talent who is ready for the next step, the source explained. He's desperate for regular minutes, and Tottenham's project aligns perfectly with his ambitions. That sentiment is key. Trafford is at a crossroads. Highly rated within English football, he knows that sitting on the fringes at Manchester City is no longer enough. He wants responsibility, visibility, and a clear pathway to becoming a Premier League number one, something Spurs can realistically offer. From Tottenham's perspective, Trafford represents value, potential and long-term security. Valued at around £27 million, he is seen as a modern goalkeeper with elite distribution, strong command of his area and the mentality to handle pressure at a big club. Spurs believe he could either push Vicario immediately or be groomed as a future first-choice option. With January looming, this is a situation developing fast. City may be open to listening, Trafford wants minutes, and Tottenham are positioning themselves aggressively. All the pieces are starting to line up, and if Spurs decide to pull the trigger, this could become one of the most talked about moves of the winter window. That's all for today's update. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay up to date with everything Tottenham, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a story. Don't forget to drop a like and share this video with other Spurs fans. Together we can keep growing the Tottenham News Today community. Thanks for watching, and as always, come on you Spurs!